Morning. It's Sunday, April 4th, and today I'm going to talk about a personality who happens to be a congressman. And in my mind, he really doesn't belong in Congress. He's not the kind of man I want to see representing this country in any way, shape, or form. I call him a personality because he's always out there in your face. He reminds me of the big bully in high school, the guy who was challenging everybody. I'm talking about Matt Gaetz of Florida, the man right now accused of sex trafficking with minors. Now, it's easy for me to imagine that Gaetz did these things because he's, in my mind, an obnoxious, in-your-face character. Just look what he did during the impeachment trial of President Trump. Now, he's a representative of Florida, but he gets on a plane and goes to Arizona to put down Liz Cheney because she voted for impeachment. Why? Why would a congressman from another state go and challenge a Republican leader like that? Because he has no brains, or he has to show how great he is and how much he's defending Trump. And he's working hard for the alt-right to make sure that he gets reelected. Well, this is a man who has dug a big hole for himself. And the hole keeps getting bigger. And if you cite all the different things that this guy has done, then you can see he doesn't deserve to be a congressman. He's an in-your-face guy. Typical bully. The big show-off. Look, for example, at his antics and episodes during COVID-19. In the very beginning, in March of 2020, Gaetz wore a gas mask during a House debate on the funds to combat COVID-19, to combat the pandemic. And he claimed he was wearing the gas mask not as an act of mockery, but as a way of demonstrating concern. It's a stunt. It was a stunt. You get attention. He himself is an attention-getting device. Everything he does is over the top, it seems to me. He goes to CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, and he contacts somebody who has COVID-19. And he ends up under self-quarantine for 14 days. He said he was positive, but he stayed in quarantine. And he accused the Chinese of birthing a monster, of creating COVID-19. Of course, none of us knows that he's a great scientist. He's managed to keep that under wraps, And then later on in the year, he did actually get COVID-19. But he claimed, I tested positive for the antibodies. I have no live virus. Said he had no symptoms and he was not sure where he contacted the disease. And then, to top everything off, on December 4th, he attends the New York Young Republican Club conference in Jersey City. I don't know why the New Yorkers would go to Jersey City. They must be a cheap bunch. And he's seen there in a crowded room without a mask, and everybody else in the room is there, crowded together without a mask also. And Governor Murphy and the Jersey City mayor publicly condemned him. Did that bother him? No. And then Gaetz goes on social media and mocks the Democrats because of the COVID-19 regulations that were put in place. How stupid is that? In addition to his stupid activities in COVID-19 situations, he's also been investigated for possible ethic violations, using $200,000 of taxpayer funds to have an office in Pensacola somewhere. And the real estate agent who gave him the office said it was an under-market rental. And congressmen are not permitted to use funds for under-market rentals because that's like a form of bribery or chicanery. And then, of course, during the storming of the Capitol, Gaetz had his communications aide post a video on Parler. That's one of those tiny social media sites used by the right wing, with the caption, "We hear you loud and clear. Stop the steal." So he's encouraging people to continue their activities in front of the Capitol building. And now, what seems to have finally put everybody over the top on him, his possible, and I will say probable, sexual relationship with a minor. And the charges are dealing with sex trafficking laws, because Gaetz apparently paid this minor to travel with him across state lines. Now, it's funny how the law goes. If you pay the minor and you stay within your home state and you have sex with her, that's not a serious crime. But once you take her across, or him, across state lines, then that's sex trafficking. And like in most cases, we can give people the benefit of the doubt. But Gaetz has showed in his performance over the years that he's an in-your-face guy. And he's not afraid of doing things and being bold, because he thinks that's the way to get attention, and he needs all the attention he can get. So given the examples of his behavior over the last couple of years in his public life, and his fearless support of the former president, I would have to say that without too much more evidence, I believe that the hole that Gaetz has dug for himself is probably where he belongs, in that hole. It will not surprise me if he is found guilty of these charges. In any event, Congress is not doing anything to him right now. They are waiting for the results of the investigation. And Gaetz is a man on several important subcommittees and committees. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But on the face of it, these allegations against Matt Gaetz, these sexual misconduct allegations that have been focused on him, are probably true. And I leave you with that thought today. And I will see you in the morning. Bye.